My name is Carina Volkov, and I need you to understand something. I wasn't always like this. 6 months ago, I had a good life. I was a forensic accountant in Boston, the kind of person who found patterns where others saw chaos. I lived in a brownstone in Back Bay with my fiancé Marcus. We were supposed to get married in October. I'm writing this because I need someone to know what really happened, what's still happening. The doctors here think I'm delusional, but I've spent my entire career distinguishing between reality and fabrication. I know the difference between madness and truth. It all started with the photographs. I'd been helping my mother clean out my grandmother's house after she passed. My grandmother had lived to 93, sharp as a knife until the very end. We found boxes of old photographs in her attic, black and white images from her life in Ukraine, then later ones from when she immigrated to America in 1952. In every single photograph, there was a woman in the background. Not the same woman aged across time, the exact same woman. Same face, same age, maybe about 35. Same dark hair pulled back into a severe bun. Same expression of cold observation. She was in my grandmother's childhood photos from Kiev in the 1930s. She was in her wedding photo from 1949. In pictures from her first apartment in Boston. In photos from my mother's childhood in the 50s and 60s. 60 years of photographs, and this woman never aged. We called her the aunt, my mother said. At least, that's what grandmother called her. What aunt? I asked. We don't have any aunts that look like that. My mother's face went strange. I don't know, but I remember grandmother mentioning her. She was just always around. My mother frowned, struggling with something. I have memories of her, she said, but they're blurry. So, I decided to take the photos home. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at the photos, staring at that woman's face, the way she was slightly out of focus, always at the edge of the frame, always watching. When I actually did fall asleep, I started having these dreams, and in them, the woman stood at the foot of my bed, just watching, never moving, never speaking. And when I woke up, the room was always freezing cold, and I'd find these long, dark hairs on my bed. I knew they weren't mine. Marcus just shrugged it off. He said I was stressed about the wedding. He said I was working too hard. He would just kiss my forehead and tell me maybe I should take a few days off. But I couldn't do that, and I couldn't let any of this go. I'm a forensic accountant. I follow trails. I thought to myself that this couldn't be possible. I had to laugh at myself. This is silly. There's no way this is actually real. But I don't know. I mean, I'm a woman of spreadsheets and evidence, and I definitely don't believe in spirits. But then, one night, I saw her clearly in my townhome, and I wasn't dreaming. I wasn't asleep. I was making coffee, and she was standing in the hallway, absolutely still, exactly as she looked in the photographs. And in an instant, I blinked and she was gone. But the hallway was freezing. After that, I started forgetting things. Small things at first. Where I'd put my keys, what I'd eaten for breakfast, then bigger things. My clients' names, details of my cases, passwords that I'd been using for years. Marcus noticed. Carina, you asked me the same question 3 times today. Are you okay, sweetheart? I wasn't okay. I was losing time. And the nightmares continued. I kept seeing this woman. I'd sit down at my desk and suddenly it would be hours later. I'd drive somewhere and not remember the journey. I'd have conversations and then completely forget them. And this woman was appearing even more frequently, in reflections, in windows, standing in my office doorway. She was always watching with those cold, ancient eyes. I tried to tell Marcus, but the words came out all wrong. I sounded confused, I know it. Even to my own ears, I sounded insane. So, he made me a doctor's appointment. Dr. Sarah Chen was kind, but firm. She asked me if I'd been under unusual stress. She told me these symptoms: memory loss, visual hallucinations, paranoia. They could indicate several conditions. I'd like to run some tests, she said. But I knew it wasn't medical. This woman, this ancient woman, this ageless woman, I could somehow feel her feeding on me. I know that's what's happening. I know that's why I'm forgetting. But why me? And every day I woke up with less of myself intact. So I started writing down everything, desperate to hold on to who I was. It didn't work though. Sometimes the pages would be blank when I looked again, even though I know I wrote them. I had to have. So I went back to grandmother's house. There had to be something, some clue to all of this, some way to stop it. I tore through the boxes until I found it. There was this leather journal, written in Ukrainian, dated 1952. I used my translator app, doing my best to translate all of the information. In the journal, there was a written account of the same thing happening to my grandmother's mother. That lady had followed their family from Ukraine. Her mother had tried to stop it, apparently some sort of curse, but her mother had failed. And there was one passage that was underlined 3 times. The final stage of her feeding is when she appears in person, when you can see her with your own eyes, not just in photographs. But I still couldn't piece it all together. How is it that some people could just manage to see this woman in photographs, and then her appear to me in person, just like she had done with my grandmother's mother? I had to figure it out. I had to put the pieces together. That night, she came to me while I was in my bed, the aunt. She was solid now, fully real. She leaned over me, her face inches from mine, and I could smell decay. Her mouth opened impossibly wide, and I felt something begin to pull at me. It was like the life was being sucked out of me. I tried to hold on. I thought about Marcus. I flashed to his face, his voice asking me to marry him. I thought about my childhood. I thought about my mother. I thought about my grandmother, and it pulled harder. I felt myself dissolving. I felt my memories dissolving. I felt my childhood dissolving. I felt my adolescence evaporating, my career crumbling into nothing. But I tried to hold on anyway. Her face twisted with rage as she pulled, and I felt myself coming apart. The next thing I remember is waking up in a hospital room. Marcus was there, but he looked at me like I was a stranger. "I'm sorry," he said gently. "I'm so sorry this happened to you." "What do you mean, Marcus? It's me, Carina. Why are you looking at me like that?" He flinched. "I'm sorry. You keep calling me Marcus, but my name is David, and I'm Dr. Chin's colleague. You've been calling me Marcus since you were admitted, but I don't know who that is." The world tilted. "What are you talking about, Marcus? We're engaged. We live together. We're getting married in October." He showed me his phone, a photograph of himself with a blonde woman and 2 children. "This is my family," he said. "We met 3 days ago." What? How is this even possible? That's when Dr. Chen came in. "Carina, you were found wandering the streets at night in your nightgown. You were severely hypothermic and delusional. You had no identification, no records. I couldn't find a trace of someone named Marcus." "But I don't understand. My fiance's Marcus. I am a forensic accountant. I live at Morrison and Glass. There is no Morrison and Glass," she said. "We've checked everything." I screamed at them to look at my phone, my ID, my keys. But I didn't have any of these things. Apparently, I had nothing. Everything was gone. They brought me here. Whitfield Psychiatric Institute. This is where I am. They've been medicating me. They say they're trying to help me reconstruct a realistic sense of identity. But I know the truth. I know that lady took my memories. I know she did. I know she took my entire existence. I am Carina. I am Carina. I live in... I'm... Who am I? So, what did you think? Do you believe the woman from the photos actually stole Carina's existence? Or do you believe it was just a delusion? Whatever the case, thank you for being here. Please make sure to like and subscribe to hear more stories.